The number 4, it's always been synonymous with perfection, with wholeness, with completeness. Think about it. 4.0 GPA, perfect. 4 years of a presidential term, 4 quarters of a basketball game, 4 parts of a whole, and of course, the 4 years that passed between my leap year birthdays. For the entirety of my life, I've always associated the number 4 with these qualities until very recently, ironically in this, my 44th year of life, I've come to appreciate a new number. That number is 3.75. 3.75, it's not a whole number, it's not complete, it's a little less than perfect, and it's not pretty, but it's real. In mathematical terms, it's a real number. And for me, it's a real number that represents the courage, the resilience, and the strength of this senior class, who's enjoyed 3.75 years of the most amazing work I've seen in a generation. For 3.75 years, I've been able to watch all of you perform and dance and sing on stages across this district. I've cheered you on as you've lifted championship trophies in baseball, softball, swimming, diving, basketball. I've seen you create new apps, film movies, and win millions of dollars of scholarships to the most prestigious universities in the nation. There's no limit to what you've been able to do. For 3.75 years, I've had a front row seat to what I think is the greatest, most innovative, creative, talented generation of American youth in history. And I've seen you blossom before my eyes, and it's been the greatest show on earth. So for me, this is not going to be another sad speech about everything that you've lost because of this virus, everything that was supposed to be, everything that should have been, and everything that could have been. Instead, I want to challenge you to think differently about the opportunities that this crisis has presented you, that it's presented to no other generation in American history. Because on March 16th, 2020, you learned a valuable lesson. A lesson at the tender age of 18 that many, my age and older, still struggle with. You learned that life's most incredible moments are those moments that challenge you. The moment when things don't go as you planned, the unpredictable, when things happen that weren't in the script. And it's in those moments that the decisions that you make have the potential to define your life for the better, to sharpen your character, to inspire, motivate, and lift those around you. Nothing has been more inspiring for me than the grace, courage, faith, and strength that you've all shown in the face of one of the most extraordinary circumstances to ever challenge and confront a generation of American youth. Even in the face of a global pandemic that you never asked for, you never wanted, amidst a virus that's nowhere and everywhere at the same time. You accepted the heartbreak of a senior year cut short. You stepped forward and you put those masks on. You showed us all how to socially distance, and of course you inspired us with your incredible talent for creating thriving online learning communities, places like Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. Like many Americans, there are times when I'm not sure if our nation will ever pull out of this, but thankfully those times are few and far between, because when I see the future, I see the class of 2020, a bold new generation of American leaders, passionate about serving their communities, asking the questions that need to be asked, dreaming the dreams that we've been afraid to dream, and charging forth to solve the problems that we haven't had the courage to solve. I see the embodiment of the American spirit that has always inspired me. The America I love, the America that takes my breath away, the America that vanquished Nazi Germany, the America that put a man on the moon, and the America that went to battle with another deadly virus called HIV. The coronavirus has taken so much from so many, but one thing it will never touch is my faith, my belief, and my hope, and my dream of the class of 2020's ability to change the world for the better. Congratulations to all of you. I wish you the best in health, happiness, and a life well lived.
We have been looking forward to the May of 2020 for 12 years. Now, May of 2020 is here, but we will not be walking across any stage this month, and we will not have the luxury of reflecting with our peers on the years of education that we have weathered to make it to this ceremony. In fact, the uncertain future has robbed us of our last practices, our senior nights, our final shows and awards, our goodbyes, and of course our traditional graduation that we have worked for so tirelessly. We're all different and unique in our own right, yet are experiencing the same loss. The early morning band marchers, athletes, speed readers, class skippers, actors, musicians, nerds, bookworms, bench stealers, comedians, fence climbers, pranksters, friends, lovers, heartbreakers, gamers, debaters, and artists will all leave their high school days without the closure that they expected. However, let us instead look back on what these 3.75 years have so graciously given us. We'll never forget our most excellent Arizona teachers, administrators, and counselors who have poured themselves into making our education the best it can be. We will never forget the senior pranks, our not-so-perfect public school bathrooms, our first days and our last, or those friends and mentors who were there when we needed them most. The class of 2020 is certainly one for the history books, and in more ways than this one. We were born in the aftermath of 9/11, we're the guinea pigs for the internet, experienced the 2008 recession firsthand, grew up with constant coverage of war playing on our TVs and smartphones, and entered high school at one of the most politically unstable and divided times in modern history. The Women's March, DACA walkouts, the March for Our Lives, climate strikes, Red for Ed, and countless other political movements rose and became integral parts of our adolescent experience. And then, of course, a global pandemic. We've been forced to grow up quickly and learn why it matters that we make difficult sacrifices for the greater good. A skill that few learn well, if at all. In TUSD, the class of 2020 is characterized by immense diversity, breadth of individuality, and extraordinary opportunity. Students excel against the odds and propel positive change. Our classmates have organized community beautification projects, fought political apathy, spoken out against injustice, become successful entrepreneurs, scientists, inventors, and innumerable other agents of innovation. The class of 2020 is one of change makers. And while we do regret the loss of a normal graduation, we recognize that many are dying and hurting much more deeply and severely. We must do our part to support each other and allow these experiences to be an identity that empowers and creates hope for others, rather than one that reduces us. May we use our story, our drive, our strife, our friendships, and our accomplishments to encourage us to be the change in our communities that is long overdue. While this tremendous milestone of graduation may have come more quickly and, let's face it, undesirably than it should have, this is just the beginning for us. And as my grandmother used to say, with adversity comes greatness. We are stronger than perhaps any other group of 18-year-olds has ever been, and just imagine how hard it will be to stop us from changing the world for the better. Best wishes, class of 2020, and congratulations, my most deserving fellow graduates.